In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you about inner child work and why it's been so beneficial on my journey and how you can start to implement it on yours. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and to those of you watching again, thanks for tuning in once more. My name's Fola, and my channel is really about supporting people in their whole wellness across their physical body, their mental body, their emotional body, and their spiritual body. And so in today's topic about inner child work, this has been something very transformative in my journey, and there's something that I think isn't really talked about a lot in different types of therapies, but it can be very beneficial to those who are willing to start working with the inner child. So what exactly is inner child work? It's really about you connecting to your little person, that little girl, the little boy, at any age. And really what happens during inner child work is you go into a sort of relaxed or meditative state, whether you close your eyes or not, and you just ask and call upon your inner child. Perhaps there's something you're working on, like a different theme in your life. Perhaps you're working on a certain theme in your life. You can ask questions around, for instance, perhaps you have a lot of anxiety about speaking in public, right? You could be like, okay, little girl, little boy, show me a time in which I had issues around public speaking. And then you allow whatever images, whatever kinds of deeper knowing or thoughts come into your awareness to just be present. You might start to see your inner child at that specific age in which that event took place. And you might see like a scene play out. And really it's just about you observing what's happening and then starting to acknowledge the inner child at that point. Because really what it's about is when we were young, our inner child, our like youthful self, wanted to experience love and connection and to really be accepted in a non-judgmental way. But at that point in time, we weren't maybe able to provide that to ourselves. And so we looked outside to our parents or to others for validation and support. And a lot of times we weren't given the type of validation that we really felt we needed. And so those wounds that develop at that time can be healed now in like your present time or your present moment, adulthood. And so it's really important that you have an open mind and just trust that whatever comes up in those images or those knowings will be what needs to be known to you at that moment. And you can even, when you're going through the journey and you see that little child presenting themselves, and you can pretend or visualize really that, hey, here I am for you now. I see you, I hear you. Perhaps imagining yourself embracing your little child, showing them love, telling them that they're loved and that you are there to now protect them and keep them safe. And that whatever the event was that happened in the past, you're no longer going to allow those types of things to happen because you're an adult now. You have a voice, right? You're learning and stepping more into your power. And this is such an important thing to help with healing. So there's really no right or wrong way to do inner child work. It's really up to you. I may just catch myself, having some moment like of silence, and I'll just be like, okay, little Fola, what would you like me to know right now? Something that I can heal or look a little deeper into. And then I will just allow whatever needs to come up. Sorry, the dog's playing with the chew toy. And you can kind of just go from there. Another great thing, I'll just find if I'm really relaxed, and I also like to say if you want to take it up a little notch and you have access to cannabis in a safe way, a safe space, it's been to use cannabis and go into a meditative state. And I only tell that to people because what I find happens in like a cannabis related meditation is I can like go through inner child work, just like boom, like bang all these different kind of sessions out at once. It's very profound, it like really sinks in. It's much more visual for me as well. So you can kind of play with it that way. And another great thing that I found helpful is to really tune into the body. This is something that was I was led through a session not that long ago with someone that was really about tapping into the physical sensations of the body. And that can be helpful, especially if you're going in through a meditative state, to see how your body reacts and to really start to ground more, because we don't connect to our body that often, right? And so doing the inner child work, connecting to the body, can really be quite powerful. And I think in order to really start creating new neural pathways in our brain, to start to live out our life in like a new sort of programming, new patterning, it's really important that we acknowledge the past and how we maybe had developed that coding or that patterning. By acknowledging it and forgiving ourselves, forgiving the events that happened, and starting to show ourselves love. Because we all have that little child inside of us that just wants to play and experience joy and pleasure and fun and be curious. But we've been so often told to like dim it down or keep it quiet. And so start to acknowledge it and embrace it and love it for what it is, which is you, and you're an amazing being. I hope that kind of highlights some of the importance of using inner child work. I will pull a card here so you guys can go through your week with a little bit of guidance. These are the soul journey cards. So we'll just see what is a benefit for the group today. We have two here. So we have regret, which says, I know that I cannot change the past. So beautiful for inner child work. If we think about it, I mentioned the forgiveness piece. You know, we might regret a lot of things that have happened in our childhood, because some people have had some pretty shitty childhoods, let's be honest. You know, there's nothing maybe that you could have done differently. There's no need to regret it. Just see what you can do to acknowledge it and move forward now that you're in the present moment. So it says, I know that I cannot change the past. And the other card is imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. And I'll just point this out, like with that card, especially when you do the inner child work, is sometimes you might see things or kind of get this deep knowing and you'll be like, oh no, that's not it. Just allow your imagination to soar, right? And as kids, we have that imagination so much more. I know for me, I would like be fantasizing about everything, and I kind of miss those days. I'm trying to just allow myself now with my mind to just take whatever it wants to and go with it, even though, you know, a lot of it might not seem real. But again, our mind creates our reality. So whatever you can think can become, right? So definitely tune into those cards for this week. Regret, let it go of the past, do the inner child work, allow your imagination to flow, and trust that your little girl or your little boy will speak with you and to you in a very beautiful way. So I hope that was helpful, and you guys have a lovely week. Bye.